happening, people? What's going on? Why did I just zoom into the camera like that? I might have scared a couple of you guys. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. We have a big daily dose of Mina, because literally before I went live, Sky Sports with some breaking news regarding Victor Gyokeres, some additional information about Bryan Mbeumo. So we have so much to talk about. We're going to talk about Sancho linked to Dortmund and linked to West Ham. We're going to talk about what else? Donnarumma and some more goalkeeper links. The transfer window is heating up, and after this stream, guys, we've got a video dropping talking about Victor Gyokeres versus Victor Osimhen and why Gyokeres might be the better option long term. So make sure you check that out after the stream. Big up to everyone locked in. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. The transfer window will close, I think, on the 10th. It will reopen again, but it will close ahead of the Club World Cup. And some teams that are in the Club World Cup, guys, they're doing business. And I'm talking about that blue side of Manchester, because Manchester City have Nouri in the bag. They've agreed terms for Ryan Cherki. Reinders is set to be announced, I think, today or tomorrow by Manchester City. I don't know, 115 euros, not charges, 115 euros spent on free players. That's some serious business, guys. That's some serious business. But listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content, and of course you get to support the growth of the channel as well, the ever growing channel here. Now listen, guys, before we actually go talk about transfer stuff, I want to gauge what you guys think of this. Now, I am about to get myself a mug, because you lot know I love mugs. I love custom mugs. And I'm thinking of making some merch on the channel. If you like tea, if you like coffee, this is just a mock-up that I've got. I'm thinking of making it a bit more colorful. I don't really like the white. White is okay, actually. But this is what I'm going for. Maybe the emblem slightly bigger, the minions, and maybe the text slightly bigger as well. But if this is of interest to you guys, yeah, let me know. Let me know, because I'm trying to think of merch ideas here on the channel. And the best I can think of so far is a mug. Is it a large mug? No, it's just a normal coffee size. It's not too big, but it's not so small. I wish I had an example here right now, but I just put my coffee mug back into the kitchen, but it's just a standard size. It's a standard size. So what I'm gonna do is I'm in talks with some producers, what are they called? I don't know, man. Merch makers, I don't know what they're called, but I'm trying to get it finalized, because I'm looking to put some stuff out there. So I'm just trying to gauge the audience. So if it's something of interest, we could definitely get it cracking here. I'd get a cup. Adam sent me one. Use it all the time. I love personalized mugs. I have so many, and that's what I use always to drink tea in, because I drink a lot of tea. So I love personalized mugs. So I was like, why don't I just get one with my emoji on it? That just makes sense. And then I was like, you know what, let me see if the community are interested in that as well. But listen, guys, like I said, we got so much to talk about. And actually, let's start with this. Congratulations to Bruno Fernandes and Diogo Dalot for winning the Nations League, UEFA's Nations League yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I watched a little bit of it, because most of it I missed the first 90 minutes basically, because I was at football. So I watched extra time and the penalties. So I'm not gonna sit here and do a whole analysis. But I'm just gonna say congrats to Bruno and congrats to Diogo Dalot, and of course congrats to my goal, Cristiano Ronaldo, as well. Yeah, Bruno's penalty taken. Yeah, I seen a stat that was saying that he's missed like 6 in the last 70 or something. Like his conversion rate is ridiculous. And when he stepped up for the penalty, I think he's one player that I knew was comfortable gonna put it away. Like, I knew comfortably he was gonna put his penalty away. I wasn't really that worried. Confirmed for Manchester United, 2 of the 3 players in this. Sorry, guys, Højlund is not going anywhere yet. But confirmed, Manchester United have announced, or no, it's been confirmed by the Premier League that 2 of these 2 are going to leave, as well as obviously we know Johnny Evans is set to retire. So we already know he's also on his way out. We know that he's also on his way out as well. So that's some little news in the world of Manchester United. But this is the big one. This is the big one in the world of Manchester United, because on Sky Sports, literally like 20 minutes ago, Manchester United, Sky Sports confirmed that Manchester United have made an initial approach to Sporting for Victor Gyokeres. Manchester United are exploring the conditions of a potential deal, and the head coach Ruben Amorim is a big admirer, having obviously managed him at Sporting. We have heard in the last couple of days as well that Victor Gyokeres is open to a move to Manchester United. Champions League and just European football, I think, was the hurdle about a month or so ago, less than a month or so ago, and now that seems to have changed. Now, I did a video and it's going to drop, guys, after this stream. So make sure you guys check it out. But I'm warming up to the idea of Victor Gyokeres at Manchester United. Now, I think the most important thing is getting that Brian Mbeumo deal done. We already know Sky Sports also confirming as well that Manchester United are set to go back in with a new offer to Brentford, and they are not that far in valuation. Reportedly, it's about a 1 or 2 million off. They're not that far in valuation, so we might get the here we go for Brian Mbeumo this week at some point. But in terms of Victor Gyokeres, I think there's a lot of factors that we need to talk about. I think there's quite a few that we need to talk about. Number one, price tag. What is the price tag? What is the price tag in terms of what you guys think is a reasonable fee for Victor Gyokeres? Now, I remember him being priced at 100 million last year. And then obviously I think him and Sporting agreed that if he stayed for another season, that he would have a gentleman's agreement. And it's reportedly in and around the fee of about 60 to 65 million euros. That's about 55 million pounds, guys. So you're telling me there's a possibility that United sign Cunha for 62 million pounds, Mbeumo for about 60 million pounds, and Victor Gyokeres for 55 million pounds. That is very good business if it happens. Obviously, that's a big if. Does he have a 65 euro clause? Yeah. He's got a 60. It's not a clause. It's more so it's a gentleman's agreement. That's what they're saying. It's a gentleman's agreement. His release clause was actually a lot higher, but because he agreed to stay another season, obviously he's got that gentleman's agreement in place. Now, I don't know if you guys are wondering, because I'm a little bit curious as to why a lot of teams are not in for him. Like, I'm seeing Arsenal, who are linked to him throughout parts of the season. But to be honest, they were linked to Isaac as well. But Arsenal are, speeding up to sign Benjamin Sesko. Liverpool, who are in for a striker, obviously they're trying to get that Florian Wirtz deal done. But even, if Darwin Núñez is leaving and it sounds like he could be heading to Saudi, they're not really in for Gyokeres. Excuse me. Chelsea have just signed Delap and are reportedly going back into the market for another striker in Ekitike. There's not many teams in or making tangible approaches for Victor Gyokeres. That doesn't mean for me that he's a bad player. I don't think that means anything. That's one thing I will say for sure. And I also think, because we're going to talk about in terms of him and Osimhen, the kind of difference between. I think they're two different types of strikers, by the way. I think with either striker, United will have a good front line. But I think it depends on what kind of front line do you want. Because I think Victor Osimhen, and you lot know how much I love Victor Osimhen as well, but I feel like he's the kind of striker that needs wide players that are going to put it on a plate for him in the box. They're going to find him in the box. They're going to watch his little runs that he's making in behind, stretching the back line. A striker like Victor Gyokeres, I feel like, is the kind of striker that will link up the play between the two guys behind him and going forward. He can run the channels. He's not as dominant in the air like Osimhen is. And for me, I say this all the time. Victor Osimhen, for me, just reminds me of a striker from the 2000s, like that kind of striker. Gyokeres is more, for me, I don't want to say he's like a big man in basketball, but he's like a Shaq. He's like a Shaq. He's not like a Tim Duncan. If you guys know basketball, you guys will get that reference. He's not like a Tim Duncan or, one of those bigs that can create his own shots, that can go in the post and, work his magic. He's like a Shaq. He's there for the pick and rolls, for the dunks and that kind of stuff. 55 million is reasonable for a 27-year-old striker in demand. Chelsea paid 98 million for a 28-year-old Lukaku in 2021. Went horrible, and it was even worse due to the huge price tag. I think Chelsea just get away with being able to do that. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Take this with a pinch of salt, but someone has said that United have gone in the back door, already got terms and stuff agreed with the player. I cannot confirm if this is true. Big up to Half says there were reports saying Italian teams were interested, but he prioritized the Prem. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Big up to Uthman. Hope you're doing good, Uthman. Says he's a transition striker purely. His box instincts are overrated. He can't create his own shot 1v1. Strength is mid. Good shot power. That's it. Yeah, that's how I kind of see Victor Gyokeres. Not saying like that's it, but in terms of in the box, he's not like Osimhen. But he has traits that Osimhen doesn't have, and Osimhen has traits that he doesn't have. Here we go with the analogies. Sorry, man, I couldn't help it. Sorry, guys, I don't know why I'm not seeing Gyokeres will bang it at United. I think a lot of people are kind of skeptical. Of what Gyokeres can do in a Manchester United shirt. In terms of like, you're gonna see this in the video that I dropped earlier today, but this is like a good example of Victor Gyokeres and how I can envision him at Manchester United. And it's similar to Delap. It makes so much sense for me why United were in for Delap and they're in for Gyokeres as well. Not because I feel like they are similar in profile. Look at Gyokeres here in this position, yeah. Back to goal, link up play. This is his bread and butter in terms of how he excels at Sporting, linking, the tens and the midfields and whatnot. In these kind of positions here, this is obviously just hypothetical, guys, but in these kind of positions here, he's gonna hold on to the ball, back to goal, strength. He can, shield off the centre backs, etc. And when you've got, and this is just hypotheticals again, but you've got Mbeumo here, you've got Matheus Cunha here, on either side of you, you just have to find your man. That's it. And once he does, and this is why I said pick and roll. This is why I referenced Shaquille O'Neal and those kind of big men, those kind of centers in NBA. Because if he is then able to lay it off, he's just bam on the turn, make the run in behind. Now, Victor Osimhen is completely different. Victor Osimhen, if you guys watch him, and I'm gonna bring up some little screenshots here again, similar to the video that's dropping later on today. Victor Osimhen, when he was playing at Napoli, and this is in his this was in the title-winning season at Napoli. These kind of positions here, he's gonna get in behind. He's gonna slip in behind the centre back and make a run in behind. And he does it multiple times. Not only that, I also think, and I say this again, I've said this so many times, there's things that Osimhen excels at that Gyokeres doesn't, and one of it is, in the box. His movement is great in the box for a striker. Now again, his overall play is different to Gyokeres's, same way that Victor Gyokeres's overall play is different to Osimhen's. Who is more likely to work well with Mbeumo, Cunha, etc.? I'm thinking Victor Osimhen, not because I'm saying that I think Victor Osimhen is that was a Freudian slip, guys. I think Victor Gyokeres is more likely to work with Mbeumo and Cunha because Osimhen at Napoli, even at Galatasaray, his best moments and his best chances created, scoring goals, etc., comes from wingers, wide channels, etc. When you've got people, United, I envision will be playing, similar to this way that Sporting have been playing, with the 2 10s off of the striker. I just think it just makes it, I'm not surprised, basically. That's what I have to say. I'm not surprised. Now, is anybody in the chat potentially not happy with the idea of Gyokeres? Is anyone in the chat not optimistic about signing him? I've said it all the time. My priority has always, like, my preference, sorry, not priority, because I ain't on the board. I don't make the decisions. But my preference has always been Victor Osimhen. But I always said if we can't get Victor Osimhen, then I'm okay with Gyokeres. I'm okay with Victor Gyokeres. Just because I think if United weren't signing Mbeumo and they weren't signing Cunha, I would be more worried. I would be way more worried if Gyokeres was the first signing. But knowing that United already have Cunha in the bag, they're en route to have Mbeumo in the bag, and then it's going to be Gyokeres, that makes me slightly more. It makes me slightly more optimistic with signing Gyokeres. Whereas on the flip side, if United had made no signings and Osimhen was the first signing they made, I would have been gassed. I would have been gassed. So let me know your thoughts in the chat, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Be sure to hit the like button as well. We've got over 200 people here. Let's get 100, 150 at the minimum likes, please. If you want to join the membership club, guys, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. Of course, you get to support the growth of the channel. If you want to support the channel in alternative ways, you can by sending in super chats with your comments, with your questions, with your thoughts, or just to show some love. And it goes a long, long way to help grow the channel, improve the quality, etc., etc. Big up to Mina in the chat. Is this an hour stream? Of course, I always do 1 hour streams minimum. The streams here are always 1 hour minimum. You lot already know that. Gyokeres, best striker in Europe. Okay, let's not go that far. Let's not go that far because Isaac exists. Lewandowski and Harry Kane have been ripping it up this season. Gyokeres over Osimhen. Okay. Mina, I told you about Gyokeres. My sources are never wrong. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Big up to Kai, says, I have a feeling Gyokeres' wage demands would be lower than those of Osimhen too, which is a big plus. We cannot have high earners anymore. Big up to Ahmed, says, Gyokeres is my first choice. In a perfect world, I would sign Gyokeres and Mateta for squad depth. I don't see us signing Mateta because it looks like he's about to sign a new contract. With that new contract, obviously, an increased transfer fee comes into play. And as a result, it's just, they Crystal Palace are smart. They probably saw that United were looking around, shopping around for strikers, the Gyokereses and the Osimhens, and they got 50, 60 million price tag there. So they're probably thinking, let's find a way to get Mateta on a new contract and basically try to demand the same amount of money. I'm worried for the Mbeumo deal. No, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Cunha, Mbeumo, and Gyokeres could give us 50 plus easy. Are you worried about AFCON if we were to sign Osimhen? No, I'm not. I would not be worried about AFCON because I just think other people got to pull their weight. I feel like other people got to pull their weight if that was to happen. I don't mind him because Osimhen is expensive and Gyokeres is beside Mbeumo and Cunha. That's good. Yeah. I think this is the main part for me is what you're partnering Cunha and Mbeumo with. I think that's the most important part. Can I just say on Victor Osimhen, yeah? Let's just quickly talk about Victor Osimhen quickly, because the fact that he rejected Saudi, I think, changes the narrative of him being money hungry. Because I don't know if you lot realize, but the last couple of months, and especially like the last couple of weeks, this narrative about money has been pushed about Victor Osimhen, about how he, he's pushing for marquee money, etc., etc. And yes, Al Hilal offered him a big deal, but he turned it down. Now, I don't know if he turned it down precisely because of the financial, package, or it's being reported that he actually turned it down. And Nigerian journalists are reporting that he turned it down because he wants to play in Europe. That's it. That is why he turned it down. Now, on top of all of that, Galatasaray have offered him a financial package with a great incentive, and living in Turkey, like I said the other day on stream, like, he's still close to his homeland, he's still close to Europe, etc. Nuruddin, I'm gonna redirect to you, inshallah, after the stream. I'm gonna bring Giddy FC to your chat. But yeah, being in Turkey is still ideal because you're still near Europe, i.e., he's still within region of where he is. And obviously he's still close to Nigeria and his hometown, and he's still got a good financial package. But a part of me still thinks that Victor Osimhen is waiting for a big team to come in. I think he's waiting for maybe Chelsea to come back for him after they were in for him last summer. I don't know. Personally, if I don't know, if I was Chelsea, guys, I don't know why Chelsea's team for me is screaming for a player like Victor Osimhen. I don't know why they're linked to Ekitike. I really don't. And it doesn't seem like his wage demands are that outrageous. Well, it is outrageous because he's asking for 350, I think, or near enough to 350 a week, gross, which is a lot because Chelsea's wage structure is not like that. But also, if you look around Europe, guys, how many other teams would need a player like Victor Osimhen? Chelsea, I think, need it. Arsenal need it. Liverpool, I think, could do with a Victor Osimhen. Because his box movement, having Mohamed Salah on one side, having Florian Wirtz, playing in balls from behind for him to run in behind, it would be ridiculous. But it's that wage element that is causing a hindrance, I think, for his future. I mean, I just want to see new signings in our team. Hussein, you're not the only one, man. You're not the only one. Man United ain't paying that. I haven't seen Ineos give any new signing over 200k yet. I think it's also the fact that, people talk about Victor Osimhen like he's some like mid player. He's not a mid player. But I do think the way everything played out last summer has caused a hindrance to him. Ending up at Galatasaray, and even in Galatasaray, he was still doing good. Yeah, 37 goals in all competitions. That's still good, right? But I feel like that has kind of taken him out of the spotlight compared to what he was doing when he was at Napoli, because he was one of their best players in that title-winning team. But I think we need to accept, guys. I think we need to accept it's looking likely that it will be a Gyokeres. And I'm thinking £55 million, potentially. £55 million for Victor Gyokeres. Affordable wages. Now, one thing I will say is that spotlight will be bright. Like, the spotlight will be bright on Gyokeres if he joins Manchester United. If he joins Manchester United, because United are so crap in front of goal, that everybody is going to be looking at Gyokeres and think, if this guy does not bag a goal, oh my God, it's going to be long. It's going to be long. But I do feel slightly more confident in terms of the fact that if United get Mbeumo done, and they got Cunha, and then obviously they got Gyokeres as well. I feel slightly more confident that United might score a couple of more goals than what we did last year in the league. But also, can I just say that if Victor Gyokeres joins Manchester United, and there's still potentially some more room for transfers, because it's reported that Man United are looking for a striker, a midfielder, and a goalkeeper in terms of starting players. If United get all of those transfers done, and Ruben Amorim starts the season with 2 new 10s, a new striker, a new midfielder, a new goalkeeper, for me, there's no excuse as to why Manchester United shouldn't have an identity on the pitch. I think we should see, free-flowing football, the vision that we've been sold. It will take a little bit of time for maybe the newer players to come to grips with it. For me, the only concern I have about not just Gyokeres, but even if Osimhen joined Manchester United, is I feel like I'm not worried about Cunha and Mbeumo adapting, because they don't need to do that. Whereas with the strikers, whoever United sign has to adapt to the league. So we have to have that element of patience with our striker. And you guys know, United fans, we are not patient. You guys know damn well we are not patient. So that's the only thing I'm concerned about. That's the only thing that kind of leaves me concerned. Let me see what you guys are saying. Mina getting giddy. I'm not getting giddy. I am not getting giddy at all. Just quickly as well on Bryan Mbeumo, just whilst we're here. Sky Sports reporting that Manchester United are expected to go back in with a new offer for Brentford for Bryan Mbeumo. There was suggestions. This kind of downplays the suggestions about Thomas Frank and Spurs. There were suggestions that if Thomas Frank goes to Spurs, which is looking likely, that he would try and tempt Mbeumo to go to Tottenham. However, it's understood that the player only wants Manchester United and is committed to Manchester United and has already agreed personal terms with Manchester United. Now I know it's moving slow. I can't lie, because we got the Ornstein Bomber this time last week. We had a bid a couple of days later that was rejected immediately, and it seems like that second bid is taking a little bit of time. But I think that second bid is taking a little bit of time. Excuse me, because I think that second bid is going to be the bid. I think that second bid will be the bid that gets Manchester United Bryan Mbeumo. I don't think there's going to have to be a third bid. And from the reports that I've read today, it's suggesting that Brentford are maybe United and Brentford are like 1, 2, 3 million off of the package in terms of how the package might be put together. But I also have a feeling, can I just say, I also have a feeling that the package might be more than what we pay for Cunha, which is kind of crazy. And not, by the way, a big difference. Not a big difference, by the way. I think it will be like a couple of million. But I still think that it might be slightly more than what we paid. We paid 62.5 for Matheus Cunha pounds. And it sounds like Brentford want 65 million pounds. Or 60 to 65 million. So I don't know. We'll probably find out more, I think, in the next 24 to 48 hours. But it's good to know. And also, shout out to Sully Talks as well. If you guys don't follow Sully on Twitter, make sure you guys do. Shout out to Sully Talks, who also confirmed earlier today that Bryan Mbeumo's priority is still Manchester United, and it always has been Manchester United. It is just down to Manchester United and Brentford getting it done. And Mbeumo is worth more than Cunha, in my opinion, not by much, but yeah. Well, I think because Cunha had a release clause, that's one thing. But also, Mbeumo only has a year left on his contract. Plus, he has an extra one. He's got an extra 12 months that Brentford can trigger, which they said that they're happy to trigger if they don't come to agreement with Manchester United. So I do think they will look to get near to what United paid for Cunha, because they also value him at around the same price tag as Cunha. And also Fabrizio as well was just also reporting. So apparently this is coming from a reporter based in, he doesn't have a location. Is this Italy? Yeah, based in Italy. He's reporting that the latest figure is slightly closer to 60 million pounds, with a package of bonuses that bring it closer to 65 million pounds. So he might be on the pricier side. He might be on the pricier side in comparison to Cunha. Now, someone in the chat was talking about if United are linked to goalkeepers, if they're making a move for goalkeepers. There's 2 goalkeeper names that I've seen flying around so far. Which is interesting, because why on earth, I'm not being funny, why on earth is Manchester United linked to Donnarumma? Like, I get it, Donnarumma. You and your agency, you guys you're looking for the new contract. But why are you making us discuss you here like it's ever going to happen? It's never going to happen. So if you guys don't know, if this just sounds like gibberish to you guys, reportedly, Donnarumma is interested in a move to the Premier League, and there's a few clubs interested in him, including Manchester United. And we already know how the transfer window works out for a lot of people, and not just the transfer window, just football careers. It works out by you. And by the way, just after the Champions League final, they were saying that Donnarumma's contract talks with PSG has slightly stalled. He's looking for a new contract at PSG. I know for a fact he does not probably want to leave PSG. What better thing to do than to throw United's name into the ring? Once you throw United's name into the ring, that's it. Donnarumma is going to go to City. I wouldn't be too surprised, because they're moving on from Edison. They're looking to move on soon. And I mean, right now, City are assembling an Avengers team. Like, the team that they're assembling right now is stupendous. And if they add Donnarumma to it, spooky. But United is linked to a goalkeeper. And like I said, it has been reported that Ruben Amorim wants to sign a goalkeeper this summer. Lucas Chevalier of Lille is another name of interest to Manchester United. As well as, like I said, Donnarumma is another name, but I'm not I'm not really buying the Donnarumma thing. I'm not really buying it. I think he's the best goalkeeper, by the way. I do think he's the best goalkeeper. Someone said, why don't we go for Mike Maignan? When I saw that 20 million price tag for Mike Maignan that Chelsea are set to buy him for, I thought, wow, okay, that is 20 million is decent. But then I realized I don't think there's much between Mike Maignan and Onana. I think there's a bit of difference between them in terms of their ability, but in terms of their errors and how often they make errors, I don't think like they're like Keenan and Kel. They're not too far apart from each other. They're not too far apart from each other. And if you guys have no room for patience when it comes to someone like Onana, then trust me, my friends, you guys will have no room for patience when it comes to a player like Mike Maignan. That's it. That's all I have to say. Let me see what you guys are saying. Sells over Martinez. We should at least try. I don't know if Nottingham Forest will be open to sell. Oh, sorry guys. No pun intended. No pun intended. But I don't know if Nottingham Forest are open to selling cells. Martinez, I agree. By the way, I do. I think Sells is over the course of 12 months has been a better goalkeeper than Martinez. The thing is with Emi Martinez, I think people like the idea of like a shit housing goalkeeper, right? I like the idea of a shit housing goalkeeper as long as you back your chat. Like if you want to shit talk all you want, just back your chat. Just back your chat. That's it. And I think people like the idea of Emi Martinez. But Emi Martinez also has like, there's no goalkeeper can I say that's just completely error free, right? There's no goalkeeper that's completely error free. But I think there's levels to the levels of errors that people make. So with Emi Martinez, I'm a little bit on the fence about Emi Martinez. For me, there's so many factors that play into if United, what goalkeeper Manchester United sign. And I think we need to look away from the idea of playing out from the back, excuse me. And we need to look at shot stopping. Like for me, I don't care. If you are a great shot stopper, I will have you as a goalkeeper any day of the week. Any day of the week. If you are a great shot stopper, I will have you as a goalkeeper. But if you want me to buy into this whole free-flowing modern football, playing out from the back, keeper clipping passes and long balls in behind to your wing backs, and give me someone who can shot stop. And then all the other extras that come together, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. You lot are taking the piss out of Onana shithousing. I do think United buy a goalkeeper, but I also think that depends on outgoing. Sells is a good. For me, Sells was the best goalkeeper in the Premier League this season, or the season that just finished. I think Sells was the best goalkeeper. We got some Jadon Sancho talk. Like how the mighty have fallen. I'm seeing teams like West Ham being linked to Jadon Sancho. I'm seeing teams like West Ham being linked to Jadon Sancho. How the mighty have fallen. Honestly, how the mighty have fallen. Very unfortunate. Very, very I mean, it's not unfortunate, but it is unfortunate at the same time. It's unfortunate for him in terms of how his career has been. But it's also yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know how you guys feel. I think actually a lot of you lot don't care. But just quickly on Jadon Sancho, Borussia Dortmund are interested in Jadon Sancho again and have been asked to be kept up to date with his situation. There is also interest from West Ham for Jadon Sancho, but he would smash their wage structure. Let's just, out of curiosity, guys, I just want to see West Ham's salary. I want to see who their highest earner at. Their highest earner is wow. Wow. He would absolutely destroy their wage structure, guys. Paqueta and Jared Bowen are the highest earners at West Ham. Of course, Jadon Sancho ain't going to West Ham, guys. Of course, Jadon Sancho is not going. Like, let's be flipping for real. That is ridiculous, by the way. That, like, they would expect United to cover most of his wages. The only way Jadon Sancho would go to West Ham is if United were to cover a majority of his wages. And I did see a report talking about Jadon Sancho. So yesterday on Sky Sports, about Dortmund being interested in Jadon Sancho. There's multiple other European and Premier League clubs who are interested, and Man United are expecting offers for a permanent deal. However, they've not ruled out the prospect of another loan, due to his high wages, which is interesting because it's his contract. I swear his contract is to June 2026. So you're telling me there's a possibility that Jadon Sancho could go on loan again this summer and then leave on a free at the end of summer? And basically United just get nothing from it. They've got nothing from his career of 5-6 years at United. He will leave Man United with having, what, 12, I think, or like 6. How many goals does he even have in a Manchester United shirt? I know we already know the general consensus around this. That's what I thought. He can't go on loan. Yeah, that's what I thought. But Jadon Sancho's contract is to 2026. Yeah, so, but then I think he's got an option to be picked up. He's got an option. His contract, his contract with Man United expires 2026 with an obligation to be picked up. He's got a 1-year option to be picked up. And this is so sad because, yeah, I'm just seeing his stats at Manchester United, and it's very, very unfortunate. I think I don't know. I don't see why United don't look to just terminate his contract and just let bygones be bygones. You know, take the hit financially and just keep it moving. Terminating his contract for his 1 year that's left on his deal would cost them about the same amount of money that they got from Chelsea to send him back. And it is ridiculous to even imagine that United brought him from Dortmund and he could be going on loan to Dortmund twice. It will worsen the PSR situation. Man United are in a much healthier PSR position to take some of these risks. Especially for, I think, a player that is never going to play for Manchester United again. Number one. Number two, you're not getting anywhere near the 25 million for Jadon Sancho. Man United will be very lucky if they manage to get that, because his price has just depreciated. So in terms of the PSR situation, I think Man United have a little bit of leg room to take a risk like this. And it might be one of those situations where it's the better option for both club and player. He can go, and because money means a lot to him, because he didn't want to take that financial cut at Chelsea, he can get a nice little signing on bonus and he can go and sign somewhere. He could go back to Dortmund. I don't know what his future entails, but that should be I think Man United should look to take a risk like that. Just quickly on the topic of other potential outgoings. This is a big topic of conversation. So a couple of days ago, well, I think it was 2 days ago. When was it? It was on Saturday. On Saturday, Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Alejandro Garnacho will leave Manchester United. The decision is confirmed on both player and club side. Multiple Premier League teams are seriously interested in him, as well as Bayer Leverkusen and other European teams, including Italian clubs. Now, I've seen reports that said the three Premier League teams that are interested in him is 1, Chelsea, 2, Arsenal, 3, Aston Villa. This is just reports. Of the teams that are interested in him. Bayer Leverkusen reportedly think that Man United price him at 50 million plus, and they believe that that's too much. I'm sorry, but Bayer Leverkusen, you're about to get like 120 million for Florian Wirtz. You just got 35 million for Frimpong. There is no reason why 50 million should be too much for you guys. Give him a little reunion with Erik ten Hag. Give him a little reunion with Erik ten Hag. I don't know how people feel. By the way, I don't know how you guys feel about this. Let me know, because I actually put out a tweet the other day saying, what's the minimum price United should sell him for? And the answers, really, I got 140 something replies. Someone said, okay, Marcel said 45 million minimum. This is all in pounds, guys. Someone who's a Liverpool fan said 60 million, 70 million. Shout out DJ. DJ said 40 million, 60 million, 60 million, 60 million, 70 million. Anything over 45 million, 60 million, 50 million, 60 million, 40 to 50, 50 plus add-ons, 50 million, 50. So it sounds like the general consensus is about 50 to 60 million. 50 to 60 million sounds like the general consensus in terms of what Manchester United should sell him for. I've seen a couple people, someone said to me 80 million. Yeah, a lot of the replies I've seen is 60. Someone said Shawarma King, shout out to Shawarma King, said 80 million or abroad and 120 million in England. I don't know where you're getting 120 million from for him. Yeah, I don't know where you're getting 120 million for. Let me see what you guys are saying. 40 million, 65 million for Prem teams, other teams 50 million. Is he going to Arsenal? No, that is just reportedly one of the teams that are interested in him. For European clubs, 60 million euros, so that's about 50 million pounds. In the Prem, 60 million. Garnacho has won Copa America, FA Cup, and League Cup. Pay the 60 million ASAP. 21 GA all comps. We accept Klarna and PayPal. I don't think people don't realize, despite his arrogance and maybe his behavioral problems, if you want to say that,